Every year, the NFL has 259 talented young players drafted, and some of them end up being future NFL superstars, but some of them don't quite live up to the expectations. And today we're going to look at 10 of the biggest NFL busts ever. Number 10, we have former Cleveland Browns running back Trent Richardson. The Browns drafted Richardson number 3 in the 2012 draft. Richardson was a star at Alabama, rushing for 1,679 yards and 21 touchdowns his last year with them, but that didn't translate to the NFL. Trent Richardson had 950 yards with the Browns his rookie year, but then started dealing with injuries and he got traded to the Colts. He never was able to stay healthy, and that resulted in his career ending in 2015. So he was only in the NFL for 3 years, mostly due to injuries. Number 9 is a more recent player, who is quarterback Sam Darnold, who was drafted 3rd by the New York Jets in the 2018 NFL Draft. The Jets traded Sam Darnold after 3 seasons, where he had 54 touchdowns, 52 interceptions, and only a 59% completion percentage while playing for them. He also had a 13-25 record while playing for the Jets, so it's safe to say he was just bad at football. Number 8 is offensive tackle Jason Smith, who the St. Louis Rams drafted with the number 2 pick in the 2009 draft. He played 8 games his rookie year before getting a concussion and being hurt the rest of the year. After that, in his second year, he lost his starting job to someone else and ended up getting traded between a few teams before retiring in 2013. So he was only in the NFL for 4 years, which is horrible for a number 2 pick offensive tackle. Number 7 is defensive end Steve Emtman, who was the number 1 pick in the 1992 NFL Draft by the Indianapolis Colts. Emtman was hurt throughout his first 3 years with the Colts and only had 5 sacks during the 3 years before getting released by the Colts. He was drafted number 1 and had 5 sacks in 3 years. That's just flat out horrible. But he did have this 90-yard interception, which is pretty cool, but this was pretty much the highlight of his career. Number 6 is quarterback Johnny Manziel, also known as Johnny Football, who most of you probably know. He was drafted number 22 by the Cleveland Browns in the 2014 NFL Draft. Johnny Manziel had won the college football Heisman Trophy in 2012, but he didn't perform in the NFL how many people thought he would. Johnny Manziel only played 2 seasons before getting released by the Browns. Manziel struggled with off-the-field issues and spent a lot of time partying and drinking, which affected his on-the-field play, and he got an assault charge in 2016, which led to the Browns releasing him. He had 7 touchdowns and 7 interceptions in his career, so it didn't go as planned. Number 5 is running back Lawrence Phillips, drafted number 5 by the St. Louis Rams in the 1996 NFL Draft. Phillips played 2 years for the Rams before getting released in 1997, mainly because of his off-the-field issues during that time. Lawrence Phillips had spent 23 days in jail and had started 20 NFL games for the Rams. He had more days in jail than games started for their team, so they said goodbye. Trouble continued with Lawrence Phillips after his career because in 2016 he died while in prison and reportedly hung himself. So RIP to Lawrence Phillips. Number 4 is offensive tackle Tony Mandarick, who was drafted number 2 by the Green Bay Packers in 1989. He was referred to as the best NFL prospect ever. He struggled with steroids and drug and alcohol use, which affected his on-the-field play. He was unable to live up to the expectations, which resulted in him being released after 4 seasons. And the worst part was he was drafted before Troy Aikman, Barry Sanders, Derek Thomas, and Deion Sanders, who are all in the Hall of Fame, so I know the Packers had to be mad. Number 3 is Akee Smith, who was drafted number 3 by the Cincinnati Bengals in the 1999 draft. He only started 17 games in his 4 years with the team, had a 3-14 record while throwing 5 touchdowns and 13 interceptions, and he never played again after the Bengals released him in 2003. Number 2 is quarterback Ryan Leaf, who was drafted number 2 in the 1998 NFL Draft by the San Diego Chargers. Off-the-field behavior and injuries contributed to Ryan Leaf's downfall, and during his time in San Diego, he had 13 touchdowns and 33 interceptions, while having a record of 4-14. So the Chargers released him after 2 years with the team. 33 interceptions in 18 games? God damn. Number 1 is Jamarcus Russell, who was drafted number 1 in the 2007 draft by the Oakland Raiders. He held out during training camp to get more money on his rookie contract, so he only started 1 game his rookie year. The Raiders released him in 2010 after 25 starts, where he had a record of 7 wins and 18 losses, while throwing 18 touchdowns and 23 interceptions. And there's a story of one time when the coach gave him some empty film clips to study over the night because they thought he wasn't watching film. Jamarcus came in the morning and said he watched the film and liked all the plays on it. The coaches realized he wasn't watching film since the tapes were empty, so it looked like Jamarcus got fooled. He didn't even try to look at those tapes. Well, I think after looking at some of the biggest busts, it's fair to say some of the players get unlucky and get injuries, but some players didn't make it due to their work ethic and not putting enough time in to focus on their career. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe to our channel NFL Empire, and I'll see you next time.